So be honest, by a show of thumbs up, if I actually did make a suede bomber jacket like this, who would be interested? Yeah, a lot of you. Apparently from the comments, every time I wear this jacket, everybody's like, yo, Alpha, where'd you get that? And I'm like, yo, it's All Saints. And it's going to continue to be All Saints, or is it? Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 323. And today, we are going to dive into your business questions. One of those questions has to do with an apparel line. Am I interested in starting an Alpha M like apparel company? Interesting side note, I actually did kind of a while ago, which we'll talk about in a second. Before we dive into your business questions, which reminds me, down below, if you have a business question, start it with business question and ask. Each week we try to get to a few, if not all, of your amazing business questions, because this vlog is all about helping you be better and achieve your entrepreneurial destiny. Speaking of destiny, this week we had our quarterly Tiege Hanley meeting. I stayed my happy ass here in Atlanta. I did not travel, but the rest of the team was there, and we had meetings, and the meetings were good. They were really good. But one of the things that is not good is I think Tiege Hanley lost its cool factor or edge. We used to be, like when we started, I think we were like super cool, right? We were like doing this whole like, customer like part of the journey thing. Everybody was digging it. I was promoting it on the Alpha M YouTube channel. And there were all these people talking about like, oh, I rubbed Tiege Hanley on my junk and it grew 10 inches or whatever it was. I rubbed it on my Corolla and it became a caddy, like whatever. We had this really exciting like meme culture. And this went on for a few years, honestly. But then we shifted. But then we kind of, as a company, our branding got more like kind of like corporate and more like standard skincare company, right? What you would see with like, Jack Black or any of these other, you name it, skincare companies. And I feel like over the course of the past like 2 years, 3 years, we have lost our cool and our edge a little bit. And it's something that is not a secret. We talk about it openly. And it's something that we are in the process of figuring out essentially, what is that value proposition? Why should and what would encourage somebody to, join the Tiege Hanley revolution of helping you be super sexy and handsome? And what is our messaging? What is it that is going to basically set us apart in the sea of skincare companies that are out there now? Because when we started, there weren't a ton 5 years ago. Now, there are a lot. And so trying to separate ourselves is one of the things that I think we are focusing on and working on. And so it was kind of, we had part of our meeting yesterday, I pretty much threw it out there. If you guys have an idea, if you have like, sort of advertising or marketing sort of angles or what would be cool again, or what would be interesting, let us know, because we are in the process, once again, of trying to figure out that messaging and that branding. Not branding, messaging, creative, advertising, marketing, like it all kind of works and fits together. The reason why Dr. Squatch has become so big, so successful, yes, their products are great. Like, I'm assuming everybody's products are great. And just saying, hey, our products are better than X, Y, and Z isn't gonna get it done. It's gotta be something else. You need that it factor. You need that edge. You need that je ne sais quoi, as they say. And Tiege Hanley, we used to have it, but we lost our way. And, I think this is one of the big objectives for this coming year is not only to help us grow. The other thing that happened before and sort of stunted our growth a little bit was we got away from discounting altogether. And we were offering more like incentives like towels or whatever, like free body wash, stuff like that. The name of the game for this business is to acquire customers. You got to get people to try Tiege Hanley. And so for me, I am always of the mindset, you got to discount, you got to give somebody an amazing offer to try it, get them in the ecosystem, let them use it, let them adjust it. And we are in a much better position now than we ever have been before in terms of retaining customers. We've got more products, our customizable, dashboard and, the back-end Tiege Hanley, you literally can build whatever system you want. And so the good news is that I did a few discount offers on my Alpha M YouTube channel just to test it, to basically see, okay, well, what's happening? Can we really like scale the acquisition if we give people an incredible deal to try it. You know, part of it is, okay, well, if that happens, is it just like cannibalizing your existing members? Are people just churning out being like, yo, I'm going to go grab a system for 40% off, 30% off, 50% off, whatever. And it's just this vicious cycle again, because that is one of the main reasons why we stopped discounting in the first place, because of the abuse culture. A lot of people knew, hey, I can just use a discount code. One of the other problems with before is that you had these sites like Honey, right? You download Honey onto your desktop, and if you're going and searching, it's going to auto-generate, auto-populate a discount code. But by stopping all discounting, that kind of prevents that abuse and that system from happening. But the good news is that now there are new softwares and systems that you can actually implement that will block Honey from doing what Honey does, which is auto-generate and auto-test coupons. So there are the world is different in terms of online discounting than it was, you know, a few years ago. And so learning that, trying to get our heads around it, but really, you know, bottom line is sales. We need to elevate and basically scale again. Now, the good news is that this is the first time ever that going into the new year, we are actually on an upward trajectory. Normally, the Tiege Hanley kind of like sales cycle annually is like we do really well, but then the end of the year, the fourth quarter, it starts to slide. And then January 1, we're trying to come up. Well, this year, we came into December on an upward trend. And January, we've continued that upward trend. So literally in 5 years, this is the first time that we really are excited, because we're like, wait a second, things are actually turning around. You know, at fourth quarter last year, we had a lot of issues. We were overspending. We were spending too much in different areas, and so we've pulled that back. So Tiege Hanley going into 2022 is a much stronger company, and I am super excited. I am super excited that we've had to get uncomfortable, and super excited that we are trying to have these conversations and really right the ship and direct ourselves in a more positive manner. And I really am excited about the team that we have. I'm excited about some of the initiatives that we're trying. I'm excited about some of the products that we're getting ready to come out with. And I am excited to basically find our cool again, because honestly, that is one of the things that I feel we have been missing and we have lost. And so it's something that we are diligent about trying to facilitate and get back. Now, in terms of that like meme culture that we started with, that's never probably going to come back. But I feel like that may be an incredible angle to sort of go with in terms of marketing or advertising. And the reason is pretty simple, because everybody gets memes. It's more highbrow now than ever before. And I think it's relatable. And I think that we could do an incredible job if we had a good team and a way and a mechanism in order to create creative that wasn't like stupid and cheesy, but just use that kind of meme culture for guys to basically get it. You know, it's that whole like uncomplicated thing. We talked about this earlier. Everyday situations that guys will get, and it's funny, and you know, this is complicated. This is uncomplicated. Tiege Hanley, like we've talked about that a while ago. And that's something that we started to test with the videos that Christian and I did with the guy and the girl, the I love you skit, also the dick pic video that I'm not even sure we even launched that and tested it, because we knew that we needed to fix our landing pages and get the offer better in order to really scale that campaign. And so we got the pieces, we're just trying to massage it, get it together, and we are, like I said, we are in the process of figuring things out, but we are in a really good position moving into 2022. But I just wanted to give you an update on Tiege Hanley. It's exciting, it's scary, but it's more exciting than scary. Speaking of scary, these business questions, scary, amazing. The first one comes from our friend Alpha C and gives me nightmares, and that is, business question, have you ever thought about starting your own clothing line? So yes, I did kind of have a clothing line years ago. It was M Apparel, and the whole way that happened, or reason I did that, is because when I started the website, iamalpham.com, I needed like stuff to sell, and I'm like, what am I going to sell? And so I was like, oh, of course, right? Everybody who's into style or is into that kind of stuff thinks, oh, clothing company, that would be amazing. Just to have a clothing brand, that would be incredible. Wearing your own clothes, having people rock your clothes. It was a disaster. It was an absolute unmitigated disaster. Now, I did it differently than a lot of people are doing it now. Like, you have people like, the Alpha Elite, you've got Gymshark, you've got, Jose's got his, Alex Costa's kind of tried one. I don't know what is happening with that. But you have, it sounds good, right? It's sexy, a clothing company. But for me, the way that I actually started it was I went on a website that sells like blank, clothing. It's called Alpha Broder. And Alpha Broder will wholesale you, items. And so I was able to get, alternative apparel clothing, which I really liked. I could go and I could get it and I could print my own label on it. I put in a little M on the sleeve and I sell it, right? And I'd have it bagged and everything. And it was awesome for a little while until realized that apparel is a really hard business in terms of just execution, in terms of inventory constraints, in terms of returns and sizing. It's a nightmare. And so for me, I was thinking like, okay, if this goes well, maybe I'll go a little bit next step and next level and actually design my own pieces or try to do that. But it was a nightmare. And yes, you can make some money, but you really need to get scale going in terms of you need to sell it at a big capacity, at least I did, in order to make it work. And the customer service issues was a nightmare. Sizing was a nightmare. People would get it. They'd want to return it. It's like, okay, well now what am I going to do? I'm going to sell a shirt that somebody had. Like it was hard. And I just decided, this is definitely not something that I want to go down. And so at the same time or similar time, I was getting the Pete and Pedro line kind of developed. And so for me, grooming products like Pete and Pedro, like Tiege Hanley is much, I don't know, it just kind of made more sense and it felt more comfortable for me. It's a product, it's a grooming product, you use it, you buy it again. Apparel, you sell somebody a t-shirt, what are they going to do? You got to continue to come out with new lines. You got to continue to innovate. You got to continue to sort of keep that innovation pipeline going. And I'm going to return your M Apparel shirt. Dude, you bought it like 18 years ago. I'm kidding. Anyway, you just got to keep going. And then, most everybody gets everything made over in China. Shipping, logistics, nowadays, it's a whole nother animal. Not to mention, lead times, you got to deal with that. And if you don't get it and you're trying to do these drops, like there are a lot of these guys like the Alpha Elites and Jose's and these different companies or brands that these influencers are starting. It's all about the drop. It's all about the urgency. It's all about like, quick, we're doing this and then next season it's this and then it's logistically it's a nightmare. And then what happens if you don't sell through the inventory? Now you're sitting with a bunch of crap stock that people don't want last season, a season ago, 2 seasons ago. And like I'll get an email from some of these companies that I basically am on their email list, and you see them trying to sell through some of their old stock. But until that sells, it's sitting there, and it's not cheap. It's not inexpensive. To make a high-quality t-shirt, to make a high-quality pair of joggers or jeans or leather jackets for that matter, it's not inexpensive if the quality is there. And so you got to tie up a lot of cash, a lot of capital. And then you're always going to have like dead sizes, right? You try to plan and buy according to what you think is going to be popular or the popular sizes, but you're always going to have things that you just don't sell. And so for me, it was a no-go. I tried it. I don't love it. It was not something that I was interested in pursuing. And to this day, I would not ever want to do an apparel company. Ever. The next business question is from our friend Stephen Blair, who had a question last week. I said, I don't know exactly what you're doing in terms of live entertainment. I need more information. Well, Stephen, I don't know that I'm going to be much help with this. All right. So Stephen's question, I run an agency who provides variety entertainment at events. We provide everything from magicians to jugglers, stilt walkers, fire eaters all over Scotland and the rest of the UK, which is super cool. I myself am a performer. I'm a magician. My main market is 85% of work from the side, that side of the business in weddings, but perform at any type of event. Original question. My business is providing entertainment at live events. How would you make other sources of income and find what works? I have a target market, however, when COVID hit, that was gone. I'm looking to try and build other sources of income in case we ever have another pandemic, but struggle to think where else we could go. So you're a magician. So automatically what I think is coming up with an e-product, honestly. You could do a YouTube channel, an Instagram account, or wherever where you're showing like quick little like cool magic tricks. But then the e-product would be around, teaching people like easy like magic, right? Or showing people how they could actually do it or how to impress friends. Or I think of it as promoting yourself. Like, look at some of these magicians. Now I'm going like next level, like David Blaine and all these people. But looking at some of these other successful kind of like magicians and figuring out an e-product or what they have done. Like looking at these magicians that are online, see what they offer. What type of online courses do they have? And so trying to build yourself up as a brand, a magician, brand and a personality, and then trying to leverage that and sell, your own e-course on how to do, street magic or whatever. You could start with a lead magnet where you have an e-product where if you're doing like a YouTube video or an Instagram video, like, hey, check this out, and you do a quick like magic trick. If you want to learn how to do that, guys, hit the link and sign up for my free, top 3 magic tricks that anybody can do at home. That's super easy and always gets people to go, wow, or whatever. And so taking it personally for you, more along the personal brand of a magician and creating products that are more customer end user focused as opposed to like big like weddings and stuff like that. And so that's what I would do. I would try to create a brand from what you do in terms of magic and then scale it by just doing free content, cool magic tricks, like starting free or putting out free content and then just trying to drive traffic to a website that's all about you and magic and have them sign up for a lead magnet, which is free. And then once they're there and they like what you showed them, even if it's like a stupid card trick, right? I know a few card tricks that are pretty simple and they're awesome. Then maybe try to, encourage them or have some type of upsell where they get hooked. They like the 3 that you showed them or the 2 that you showed them or the 1 that you showed them. Because it could simply be you show a magic trick and people are like, oh, that's really cool. And say, hey, you want to learn how to do it? Super easy. I'm giving away for free. Hit the link, have them sign up, and then trying to sell them upsell them other e-products. But that's what I would do when I hear what you do. And I don't know. That's my advice. If it helps, hopefully it does. If it doesn't, sorry. The next business question is from our friend Kevin Paredes. He said, or whatever, I'm sorry for butchering that. Would you ever consider an aircraft parts sales company for a sponsorship? Showing us the 5 great careers to have. No. I know nothing about that. It is the wrong demo. You would waste a ton of money trying that one. But great question. All right. The next business question is from Dustin Blankus. He says, hey, Alpha, thanks for answering my question a few vlogs back. I was just wondering if I need to go to college or something to start my t-shirt business or if I can just go head first. I'm 18, out of high school, and don't know what direction or where to start, or even if someone as young as me with very little knowledge can be successful or make a living off of my business. What I'm trying to ask, if someone with no experience in higher education can make, it, thank you. So the question is, Dustin, you want to start a t-shirt business and you don't know if going to college is going to help. So here's the deal. You can do both. I don't say that you have to do one or the other. Trying to go from zero to a successful business with zero knowledge, zero experience, zero anything, zero knowing where to start is going to be tough. I would recommend possibly going to college, trying to go into something. If you want to own a business someday, go and do what I did, right? I got a degree in marketing. I have a degree in operations management, which is a business degree, and a minor in marketing. It's pretty general. So if you want to start a business, I think that it's good to go to school to get some more information because you may change your mind. You may go through this and be like, t-shirt isn't really for me. Maybe I want to do something else. But having the knowledge, having the experience, and gaining the education around the specific core competencies that most entrepreneurs or business people find valuable, I think that is a great thing to do. Now, if you don't have money, you could always start taking courses on something like Skillshare. They definitely have resources out there. And you can do the t-shirt thing simultaneously. You can do both simultaneously. Don't be like, I'm either doing this or doing this. I think with zero knowledge, zero experience, 18 years old, I think it's a good idea for your future investing in your education. But you can also, at the same time, start a t-shirt business. A lot of people do that. I was just watching Shark Tank last night, and like teens were on. Like all these people that are in school, high school, starting businesses, making sales. So age is no excuse, but I would not say I'm going to do this or go to college. I think you can do both together. A business degree, if you are wanting to be an entrepreneur, is something that I would recommend looking into. Marketing is also something that it doesn't matter what you're selling. Marketing is always going to be critical for you to figure out in order to be successful at anything in terms of business. The last business question is one that I think we could spend a lot of time on, and so I'm going to read it, but Nicholas, I'd like you to copy and paste your question into this vlog, and next week I'd like to spend a little bit more time on it because it's a great question. I think something that a lot of people are interested in. He says, hey Alf, I was wondering if you could talk more about how to get started into real estate investing. I've heard you mention in the past you have some real estate investments and want to know more about how much capital is required and also other components like research and so on. So Nicholas, if you want to talk about real estate investing, and I can also give you a house update next week, down below, start the question with how to just copy and paste it. Same question. I think it's an amazing question. And real estate is a very popular, investment strategy and something that a lot of people are doing in terms of diversification. For me, I am really heavy in real estate in terms of my investments, but kind of the way I do it is not how most people do it. And I am not sort of the poster child for how to be a successful real estate investor. I will give you my ideas, but I'm not the norm, is what I'm trying to say. But if you're interested in talking about it, down below, ask it again. Next week, we'll talk about real estate investing. If that sounds good, why don't you guys, if you want me to talk more about real estate investing, also comment down below. Say, yo, Alpha, real estate investing. That would be awesome. Gentlemen, if you've got other business questions, ask it. Start it with business question and ask your question. Next week, real estate investing, house update. If you want both of those, let me know down below, and your other business questions. Guys, we love you more than our double monk strap shoes. And once again, we are trying to get cool, but me coming out with a new cool ass jacket ain't happening ever.